This is my 1980 Honda CX500 motorcycle, and it was the first motorcycle that I ever owned. And being the dumb 16-year-old that I was, I cut and welded it into the unfortunate amalgamation of parts that you see before you. And I would describe my relationship with this bike the way a hoarder would describe the relationship with the things that they own. It might be trash, but it's my trash. Unfortunately, a couple years back, it was having problems with overheating, and instead of fixing the radiator like I should have, I bought some AutoZone solution that I dumped into the radiator, hoping that it would plug the hole that was currently developing in my coolant system. It did, in fact, plug the hole, but I'm not entirely sure that it didn't block the other coolant passages, which I think led to it overheating many times, and eventually completely draining all the coolant out of it, which I did not realize until I fixed my coolant gauge and realized that it had probably just been working the whole time and I just didn't have any coolant in it, which is why it wasn't reading. So it actually lost compression in one of the cylinders, and I decided that I was going to rebuild it. So I dropped the motor out of it and got to work. And as it turns out, rebuilding a motorcycle is actually a lot harder than I thought. So I immediately gave up on that and decided to just buy a whole other motorcycle to swap the motor into my already built frame, because that seemed easier. At this point, I had realized that I was pretty much out of my depth, so I decided to enlist the help of my friend Rex, who's actually a diesel mechanic by trade. And while I knew that he would help me, it would definitely be at the expense of my feelings, which is where our story continues.
It doesn't get taller. Oh, it has the battery in it. I didn't realize.
I got the battery for it if I could just... You think it'll run on one carb the whole way to your house? No, I don't.
Is it already recording?
Yeah, this seemed fun for me.
Just,
I've had a lot of things blow up. Man, look at this hog.
so you're short enough that you're actually like in the frame.
It's not my fault you're a monster. Women talk to you?
No.
You look pale and ghost-like, but you're in
That's
it.
just my skin color, I hate to tell you. I kind of just look like I climbed out of a mortuary. I don't think that's really going to change no matter how good the lighting is.
Shocker.
It's really not. I sunburn next to reading lamps.
Why?
Cracker.
I'm just gonna blow this apart and believe.
And now we're going to drop the motor out and replace...
Did you do a compression
the old
test?
one. I did do a compression test.
How did it look?
I had 120 in both cylinders, thankfully.
All right, just take the seat off. Probably take the tank off. You think the petcock leaks? I've yet to run into a vintage Japanese bike that has a petcock that closes.
It kind of leaks. No, it doesn't.
I'm gonna take this goddamn seat off.
Yeah, here, watch out.
Holy shit, is that a new battery? I've never in my life.
No. You think I spent money on this?
It got here somehow. Oh my God.
This one actually has like a working seat.
Give me
and
your
stuff.
old motor, I'll take this bike.
It doesn't work. And if I'm gonna replace the carbs,
Yet.
it's, again, we established this, it's not gonna work better. The fact that we have it in our possession means it's not gonna run better. That's just how it works.
Okay.
That's like Newton's laws of physics.
Okay.
Two morons acquire a motorcycle, it will become worse. It's like gravity.
I had no problem. Sure.
So essentially what you have to do is there's two bolts on this side. You don't even have to unbolt this one. We should probably...
Well, that's exactly how the Kawasaki tanks were.
I'm more of a Honda man because I'm pretentious.
I was poor.
This was $400. This is...
Oh, it's got crimped clamps.
That's stupid and dumb.
You think those are...
Should we just cut it?
I'm gonna ask an ignorant question, but you think those are stock?
No.
No? You don't think Honda would have put that giant fucking U-bend in the fuel line?
I don't think Honda would have put electrical tape on the exhaust, but here we are.
Looks green to me. The vent tubes connect to the tank, or does that just happen where they happen to be?
They just happened to be right there. Those were not, on mine. We should probably take off the exhaust first. Do you have Allen sockets? I feel like I'm in somebody else's kitchen right now. I don't know where everything is.
I can tell you spend a lot of time in the kitchen.
Shut up. Do you know how to season a cast iron pan?
You get a
Shut
hot,
up.
You get a
Shut
hot,
up.
you get a, go ahead and
That's-
strip that right out.
What? Why? Why? What was the point of that?
Precision.
Wonderful.
I have to click on this.
We're not trying to make that kind of channel, Rex.
Not on YouTube, we're not. We haven't decided.
We have a
where this-
Patreon.
I was gonna say we haven't decided where this is going.
Motor swap. Rated R.
This is an unorthodox way of doing this, but this is how I'm gonna do it.
If you just break it, it comes apart.
I told you. I told you.
Rex and I originally bonded over our shared love of cars. We often spent a lot of our teenage years working on either one of our own projects or one of our other friends. As we got older, unfortunately, we had to face the reality that being broke and having a nice car are often mutually exclusive, with me having tuition to pay for and Rex having his own place to pay for. We kind of lost our enthusiasm for working on cars. As it turns out, car meets in real life are actually nothing like the Fast and the Furious. There are no underground street races. There are no women ready to be swept off their feet by my incredible driving skills.
How about me? Winner gets me.
There's just grown men in a Walmart parking lot standing around their cars and vaping. High school me was devastated. You can only spend so much time standing in a shopping center parking lot looking at AutoZone parts on a stock car with a sawed-off muffler before coming to the conclusion that this is kind of just lame. So I shifted my focus to my motorcycle. And while we were working on this bike, we were actually talking about the BMW in the background of this video that Rex is currently rebuilding. We kind of came to the conclusion that having a motorcycle is so much easier as a project than having something like a BMW or any other sort of car. The first reason being is that they're just cheap. On any given day, you can get on Facebook Marketplace and find a stock vintage Japanese bike like the one I have here for under $1,000 all day long. The bike I bought for the motor was actually a perfectly functioning motorcycle. The only thing that was wrong with it was that it needed a little bit of carburetor work that I easily could have done myself. I only wanted to swap the motor because I'd already had a pre-built frame and done a bunch of custom work to my other frame, and I wanted the motor from this one. Had I only wanted to ride the stock bike, I could have fixed that one up and had a perfectly running motorcycle for only $400. Not to mention that this isn't my primary form of transportation. Unlike a lot of people who have project cars and choose to daily them, if this thing doesn't come together and doesn't work when we're done with it, I can just get in my car and still go to work. In the year of our Lord 2026, where the $5 footlong is extinct and you want me to pay for 2 cars in order to have a reliable form of transportation, not a chance in hell. Which brings me to my next point. Bikes are very simple, and a lot of the times you can get away with doing a lot of the work yourself. And while I did call Rex to help me with the final motor swap just because that's easier to do with 2 sets of hands, I was able to completely customize my first motorcycle and even drop the motor and begin disassembling it with only the tools that I had in my garage. I was able to do all of that with really no professional experience. The only thing I did was use internet forums and YouTube videos. The only professional experience I'd really ever had was working at a yard equipment repair shop while I was in high school. Aside from giving me a basic understanding of how carburetors work, it didn't really give me any tools or experience that would be applicable while working on something like a motorcycle. It did, however, give me a little bit of an ego when it came to fixing the neighborhood dad's lawnmowers. If you had to call me to come start your lawnmower for you, I just didn't think you should be the man in the house anymore. Tell Barbara to let me know when dinner's ready. The barrier to entry for working on a bike is just a lot lower than it is for a car. Parts are easier to find, they're easier to install, and you don't need all the space or expensive tools required to work on something like, say, a BMW. You don't need specialized socket sets, you don't need jack stands, you don't even need a jack. Hell, you could even get away without a garage. You could rebuild a bike in a dorm room if you really wanted to. And this brings me to my last point, that an old bike specifically is just unique. My issue with really any hobby is eventually when something becomes popular, everyone within that group kind of tends to adopt that and they all start to kind of look like clones of each other. This happens with architecture, fashion, motorcycles, really anything. And my philosophy around this is the same as how my older brother explained to me that we can't just print more money and make everybody rich.
Everyone can be super. And when everyone's super, no one will be.
In all my years riding motorcycles, I've never even seen anybody on the same type of motorcycle as me, let alone with the same modifications that I did. All I'm saying is that everybody wearing the same clothes, listening to the same music, riding the same bikes gets a little bit repetitive. Have a little bit of personality. Please, I'm begging you. As I'm editing this back, I actually realized that we didn't record the actual swap of the motor. We just got the footage of when we finally completed it and we're starting it for the very first time. So, yeah, it's my bad. By math, we somehow managed to make 2 perfectly running motorcycles into 1 very badly running motorcycle.
I'm kind of a fan.
What happened to the foot peg that was sitting in the center?
What foot peg?
Oh, never mind. Oh, we're good.
I want to hear it blowed up.
If I turn on, then we're gonna see all the oil that's on the right, and all the gas. It's gonna fall out of it. See if we can get it to run without starter fluid. Oh no! I believe in you.
You just gotta.
So as you could probably tell, the footage from inside the garage was really dark and it was kind of hard to see what the bike looked like. So this was after I had finished replacing the starter because I was having issues with the battery shorting out every time I was trying to start it. So after I finished with that, rolled it outside and got some of this footage showing it off in the daylight. After that, I took it for its maiden voyage to see how it would run with a new motor. At the start of this project, I had to sit and think about why I even wanted to rebuild the motorcycle in the first place, because I'm gonna keep it real, this bike is genuinely one of the worst bikes I've ever ridden in my entire life. I mean, it's slow, it's loud, I spend more time working on it than I do actually riding it. But there's just something about it, you know? Sometimes you gotta just do stuff for you. My favorite example of this is TSA. TSA continuously proves to be completely ineffective. According to this article I found by ABC News, the Department of Homeland Security goes undercover to test the effectiveness of TSA agents at airports. And what they found was that there's a 95% failure rate of the TSA agents letting foreign objects or dangerous objects through their security systems, which means they're just stealing people's food, making people take their shoes off, and administering cavity searches for the pure love of the game. And I just think that's beautiful. What you do doesn't always have to make sense to everyone else. It just has to make sense to you. However much I wanted to roll this thing off a cliff for the insurance money while we were working on it, once it's all said and done, I'd say it was worth it. Maybe the real project was what we learned and the friends we made along the way.
Women talk to you? You look pale and ghost-like. I can tell you spend a lot of time in the kitchen. I'm just here to blow this apart and bully you.